Hello everyone and welcome to today's Stocks and Crypto YouTube Charts video. I am No FOMO Charts. Today is Monday, June 30, 2025. End of this month. It's just about midnight Eastern Standard Time. And welcome everybody. This is an investing and trading charts YouTube channel. Let's go ahead and start with S&P 500. S&P 500 is in a daily uptrend and has been since April, May, June of 2025. We finally broke out to all-time highs. Today's close at the time of making this video was about under 618. So on a weekly chart, we're still in good shape. However, just because the week just started, it looks like a doji candle, but last week's candle, we had a very strong, nice bullish engulfing green candle, some good trade deal news coming out. And there is rumor, I heard this on the radio, that on the news that possibly there's talks about maybe there might be an interest rate cut as early as July. We're supposed to get 2 this year. So the trade deal news plus interest rate cut news speculation is the reason why we're gapping up. And the Middle East conflict started to calm down a little bit. So remember, we're still in this golden cross uptrend on the price. So the next levels for resistance above would be 620. We could do $5 increments, 625, 630, all the way up to 645. Now, in terms of the pullback, if we happen to pull back and if it's going to be very small, it's probably going to be somewhere in the 608 to 605 area, right above this support line and this pivot point. So we're still in good shape. Look at the oscillators. There is not extreme bearish divergence. It's not happening yet. Not happening yet on the RSI. We just barely tapped the 70 RSI. Something to watch out for. On the weekly chart as well, it's not extreme. It's not extreme like back in July 2024 where we had a big bearish setup. If we do have one, it's going to take 3-6 months to form, and then we might get a pullback. So I'm talking about long-term investing. Let's move to Bitcoin. A lot of news in crypto this month, a lot of news. So BTC USD, Bitcoin, for now, we are at a relative resistance trendline zone at the top spot, right? We bounced off of the 100 EMA last time. Morningstar was true. Went to the resistance, which is just under $109,000 Bitcoin. So it's consolidating right now. I would not be surprised if we had a little bit of a long squeeze on Bitcoin because Bitcoin price is starting to stagnate a little bit. And if we pull back, we need to stay above the magical number of 104,000. Definitely, we don't really want to test 100,000 again. So for me, my setups are support setups. I like these bottom setups. I don't really like buying at these top levels because oftentimes they'll just reject. Sometimes we get a massive breakout, but right now it's pretty quiet in Bitcoin crypto world. On the weekly chart as well, I want to watch out because even though there's massive hype, whenever there's massive hype, want to be careful on crypto. So just be careful of a potential double top in the short term on a weekly, maybe for the next 1 or 2 weeks. If we do not break out above 109K or 110,000, then it's a little bit concerning. It's not game over. It's not the end of the world for crypto, but if it's going to consolidate for a prolonged period of time, it could pull back before we have the technicals get oversold on shorter term time frames. For example, like an hourly or a 4-hour. You need to get those reset on the charts. Let's get the RSI up here. Right? It's kind of on a 4-hour, it's at 50 RSI and 43 RSI, and there's no double bottom or anything like that. Significant enough like there was back in June 22. So that's what I'm talking about. Now let's go rapid fire. I haven't done rapid fire round for a long time. A couple months now, maybe a month. So let's just go rapid fire down. A lot of news on Ethereum. This is good. Actually, I'll just leave the drawing up here. And what I like about Ethereum, there's a lot of good news. And let's just see if this is going to hold or not, because we have a nice bounce above 2200. So it's not the prettiest picture because this could turn into a lower high if we don't break above 2500 to 2600, even though there's massive hype in the stock world. Ripple on a weekly starting to consolidate, narrowly avoided a head and shoulders on a weekly. Binance coin, we draw some trend lines, also a relative resistance. Again, if we don't break out, it's a little bit concerning. Solana, I like that we established the higher low here. So perhaps if it can survive above 130, best case scenario, if this turns to a little upside down and shoulders, maybe we can establish a trend line and try to get to at least 175 on Solana. Hopefully it does not crash. Now, what I like about Doge on a weekly is there was potential double bottom support here above 15 cents. So that's something I'm watching. Even if we pull back again, if we get another W here, I'll draw in a different color. If we get another W, then I'm probably going to long Doge. Right now it's yellow light for me because I missed the bottom here, but I'm watching this very closely. If this turns to a W, this could go all the way up to 23 cents. Right now, the risk reward is about 10% stop loss for me to about 40-50% gain. So that's a maybe. Maybe. Cardano, this is old trade. Cardano, the bullish divergence on a weekly is building right now. I like how this MACD is forming, but the RSI is not extreme yet. So that's why it's very, very suspicious to me that this is below the 618 level. It's above the 786 level, bounced off there one time. Going to see if it can hold. And if there's one more reversal, there might be a little bit more room for about a 25% rally at some point this year, but I'm not going to try to time it perfectly. This is weekly chart. Link, I do like, again, Link, the potential double bottom. You can see some of the altcoins potentially double bottoming here on a weekly, but these weekly setups, they sometimes take months. This was 140 days. That's a half a year. It's 6 months. So that's why I'm just keeping an eye on this, right? I like that it's a support. Very good, Link. Great job by Link. However, it needs to break out. And it hasn't done that yet, but it's very close to doing so. AVAX. So there was double bottom support, but again, Bitcoin and Ethereum pulling back. That's why we're not blasting off yet. Watching out for that. Same thing with XLM. It could go another leg down, which is why I'm not being super aggressive. This was an old trade. I wasn't being super aggressive right here on this last pullback at 22 cents. Because honestly, stocks have been way more volatile. So let's go back to stocks. For example, on a daily chart, Nasdaq, golden cross, continuation. Dow Jones, golden cross, pullback setup, continuation rally. IWM, support bounce, continuation. Gold, selling off. By the way, gold went out of bounds on a linear regression back in May, and we had a triple top below 315 on gold. Silver looking a little bit choppy, but it did pull back all the way to the 20 EMA, maybe perhaps a double bottom play if it has a little bit more steam in the rally. Oil holding above the 200 EMA, $73. Now gas, here's a perfect example. Sometimes gas, when it rejects down below, it stays down there. Now UGA crash back down to support level, see if that's going to hold above 60 or not. Now, take a quick look at some of the Apple. We do like this double bottom and this higher low on the price. I'll do rapid fire. Quick round. Microsoft, just amazing. Rally. Is it outside linear regression? No. Bollinger Band? No. So it's not extremely extreme, but it's building. Nvidia, beautiful. Just watch out. Okay. This is okay. I want to tell a little story about Nvidia. For example, I love Nvidia. I love AMD. I love all tech company. A lot of the biggest tech companies. It's just for stock trading. Stock trading, when a lot of people, like my friends or on the internet, when people are maximum hyped up and excited about Nvidia, it's usually at some kind of relative top. Usually. When we were down here in April 7 and April 21, days that are burned into my mind, right? I definitely remember these 2 days this year. Very few people were saying buy. Very few people. All up in this range from June 20th, in the past like 5 days, we're getting some FOMO in the market. I can feel it on the social media. I see it in people's social media posts. So I'm just saying, just caution, because remember, insiders, they began selling hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Nvidia shares. So insider money is getting out, or they're selling a larger portion. So I'm just saying, watch out for that. But in terms of me doing aggressive short, not yet. I need to see some kind of double top or head and shoulders or triple top or something. It's just, I'm saying it's getting into that formation. We're heading into earnings, which is in August for Nvidia. It's a quick little, emotional psychology check. Google with the pullback. Here's a good example. So sometimes the price gets outside of out of bounds on this Bollinger Band, and there's the little short opportunity. For example, on Amazon. Meta as well. It's getting a little too overextended, because here's another setup, right? Somebody asked me, I remember maybe it was like a year ago. I still remember this. How do I find dips? We can consider moving averages as potential support dip plays in general, right? Whenever it hits a support play, if it could find the support level there, it might bounce. And sometimes I have to go to a 4-hour chart or 1-hour chart to find the actual support line. Or you could draw it as well with a trend line like this. So the last support that was really obvious on a daily chart in a lot of stocks was June 23. That was just 1 week ago. So you can kind of feel it, right? That last kind of effort bounce of this month, and then we're getting out of bounds. A little bit. Tesla, fortunately, with their, I read the deliveries are kind of down. All right, let's get into some really volatile names, and then we'll close out. CoreWeave. CoreWeave is absolutely wild this year on the daily chart. So CoreWeave, what I'm doing, this is an AI play, by the way, very well connected company with OpenAI and Nvidia. So let me get my Fibonacci up here. This is getting into more education, like transitioning. Okay, I like to use colored Fibonacci. So there's multiple ways I'm looking at this as an investor. We could use the weekly chart. And I'm not seeing any extreme. If you get a double top, then I'm a little bit more bearish on that. On the daily chart, we're starting to lose this trend line. It's barely riding that right now. The 4-hour, you could see it's still open on these 3-line cross, the 50, 100, and 200. Just resting above that support level. So if we're going to have a crash, I need to see a dump first in the morning. But usually the safer spot to short is when it gets overextended out of bounds. Overextended out of bounds, and then just play a short for like a day or two. Don't want to keep shorting it forever because it keeps going up, right? So then this is a big lesson, even for myself, a reminder. If it's going up in an uptrend, do not short that much or at all. Wait. What I learned is for whatever I'm doing, day trading or swing trading, I need to wait. For usually fundamental news is the best, like bearish fundamental news, or I need to see something like a double top or a head and shoulders or a resistance trend line or an out of bounds Bollinger Band pierce, something like that. Case in point, Circle, right? Circle stock, I mentioned it briefly on my weekly watch list that I release in the comments every week. It was there for a couple times. Couple of sessions. Circle. Now, when it opened up on a daily chart, it looks really confusing. Like, what is going on here? For IPOs, got to use a intraday because there is not enough price information. So we could see, I was talking to one of my colleagues. There was, for Circle and the IPO, there was time, right? There's a triangle breakout. Then there was another triangle. And then this was the Senate news about the stable coins getting approved by the Senate. And then we had massive rally. However, when we start to get up here, little bit of a problem losing these support trend line levels, right? And this is what I'm saying. Once you start to get a dump and then we see the 15-minute hourly trend change, then we know we have a problem. This is probably low oversold on RSI purple, yes. With the bullish momentum, there's double bottom there. Pre-market, 7:30 a.m. Eastern, and then that popped up. And then, lo and behold, double top. Is this real setup? Might see a bet on an hourly. Double top, and you could see the clear reversal. This is uptrend, out of bounds, probably on a Bollinger Band. Yeah, right there on massive volume. And then the news comes out about what? That there might be some competition, competitors. And then I start to really see here the kind of FOMO tweets, the FOMO social media posts, unfortunately, of people jumping. I just heard people getting into Circle for the first time, like, oh, that's going to not go well for some people. Unfortunately, it crashed, right? So what I'm watching now on Circle, just put up a Fibonacci, maybe on an hourly because it's still an IPO. We're right above the 50% retrace. And it's in a downward angling descending wedge. So until this either hits rock bottom, maybe a 618, 150 area, or there's some kind of pattern, upside down head and shoulders, or like a triangle or strong reversal signal, which is building. It's starting to build. You can see an hourly bullish divergence happening, but people are trading other very volatile crypto stocks right now. So I'm just saying there could be an opportunity here if support holds eventually, but I'm not going to try to time that perfectly. I need to see that price hold the support above 170, 160, 150 area, and then try to see if I could play a bounce. But then, see, the problem is, as education is, if it's in a downtrend, should not really be longing that too much. I want to be longing in the uptrend. That's the cleanest setup. Long trend breakout with the bullish catalyst, perfect setup. This might not work well because if we use a indicator like this is a custom indicator that's called current volume right now. And so I like current volume because it helps me understand the RVol. Excuse that background noise. The RVol, right? Relative volume is really not that high right now. So from a volume perspective, is this highly in play? No, this is not highly in play. This is, which one's in play? BMNR, right? 1, 2, 3,000% RVol, right? But this is like the most volatile stock right now in the market. It's only day one and it already went 300%. So just watch out for the FOMO on this one, right? If this is uptrending, I'm not going to trade this that much probably. But if this is uptrending, for an example, this could be any penny stock. It doesn't have to be BMNR. Any penny stock. As soon as it tops out and then starts downtrending, want to be careful, right? Because if it's not a multi-day runner, sometimes they're just top out and crash. But we're in crypto land right now. Crypto stocks, Bitcoin treasury, Ethereum treasury. I might trade it. It really depends on how it opens tomorrow and overnight. Okay, so let's just draw an extended line for reference. Actually, I'll probably draw a parallel channel. There we go. We'll just leave it like that and see how high it goes. Now, in terms of the golden cross, this is what I want to see is 5 minute, 15 minute is golden cross, and we're breaking through these levels. And this is not the most accurate post-market price. It's something I'm watching out for. And just for me, because I'm no FOMO charts. If I miss this stock, if I miss this play, it's okay. Just let it go. Let it go emotionally, psychologically, and then look for the next really good chart or company. Thank you for watching. And if you like this video, go and click subscribe, hit the like button, and leave a nice comment. And I'll see you in the next video.